Hello, and welcome to the AUA Focus Series, a podcast channel by the AUA Media Lab. My name is Narek Ghazaryan, and I'm the Chief Communications Officer here at the American University of Armenia, and I have the pleasure of hosting two participants, Nune Alaverdyan and Lusine Avakyan, from the Sarkis Cabayan Small and Emerging Business Development Program in Armenian Provinces with Scholarship for Women, also known as Women in Program, which was launched by AUA Extension in November 2022. The primary objective of the program is to promote business development throughout Armenia with focused attention to assisting female entrepreneurs. Ladies, it is such a pleasure to host you on today's episode. So today we're going to dive into a conversation about you, your businesses, what you've been up to, and your journey this far. I have a set of questions that I'm going to ask you guys, but before we go into the questions, I want you guys to introduce yourselves a little bit about your business, your journeys this far. Nunejan, let's start with you, and then we'll talk to Lusine also.
Hello, thank you for hosting us. It's such a pleasure to be here today, and I would like to introduce myself. I'm from Lori region, town Spitak, and I'm a linguist by my profession.
Oh, okay.
In 2021, I started my own business. It's called Nune, and Nune is about textile upcycling and reusing. So here, our primary mission is to promote the concept of slow fashion within Armenia and show people that it's so important to give second chance to your clothes. So we buy clothes from different stores which haven't been sold for a long time, and after that we redesign it artistically and prolong the life of these clothes. We get different types of pieces. Also we get some, for example, eco bags, hair bands, and some clothes for women.
That is so interesting. How did you, what drove you to come to that idea of starting that kind of a business?
Actually, this idea comes from my early childhood because all the time I used to get second life to my clothes. But of course, at that time, I couldn't understand that it's about sustainability. And for example, whenever I wanted to have new things, but we couldn't afford it, very often I looked around to see what we have at home, and with the help of different tailors, so I asked them to change it, make my size, for example, and give it new shape, new style, and I took it for a long time. Of course, people didn't even understand that it's not new and it is something upcycled. At that time, I couldn't understand what I'm doing. But later, whenever I had the chance to start some kind of business that I would like to initiate in Armenia, the idea was so close to my heart that I decided to take it and started studying this about this sphere, and I understood that actually it is something very important to do.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, Nunejan, thank you very much. And then we'll continue because it is very interesting, actually. Lusinajan, tell us a little about yourself.
Sure. Good afternoon. Thank you for hosting us, and it's really such opportunity and very nice event to be here. So my name is Lusine Avakyan from the cultural capital of Armenia, from Gyumri region, and I'm mentioning firstly this because it's my pride and it's the energy that I can get from all my projects. So the project is called Ecology in Shirak region, because we aim to diversify tourist attractions in Shirak region. And Gyumri is top destination that all tourists would like to visit, but also we set up a goal to transfer and to keep people 2 more days in Shirak region. Because of course, Gyumri, it's a very nice destination, but people are always searching touristic alternatives, and maybe they will be a little bit tired of something that they tried every time. And so we suggest something new. So ecology is also will be constructed and will have a part of the quest room. So there will be 2 options. Either you can just take the quest room and explore all Shirak region with all its adventures. Other, accordingly with this, also you can take the guest house part. So also you can have your night in Shirak region and enjoy the Ghazaryan river where it will be located. So I think it will be a nice touristic attraction for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Gyumri has become a big priority for tourism, also to encourage tourism. And it is one of my favorite places also to visit in Armenia. So same question, how did you come up with this idea to start this type of a business?
Actually, it's really very interesting because it's my 7th year that I was working as a tour guide in Gyumri. And I'm hosting not only the Armenians and inner tourisms, but also the people who are coming from abroad and they are not Armenians. And it's really very interesting to speak with them, to have this like the cultural differences, to be in that kind of intercultural communication. And during all the way of my journey, during the 7 years, I'm always thinking, what can I do else besides doing the tours? So it's the thing that I can do, but I'm searching something new. And I start to go with a project that maybe we can attract tourists with something else, because the top question of the tourists, where else can I go? So it's something that should answer to this question. Of course, and we are searching something that will be full of adventures, because Armenia is full of that kind of like ecologies and like A-frame houses, and we should be a little bit unique. So this uniqueness is provided by the quest room that we will have separately, of course, in the yard, but it's not mandatory that you should take the guest house part. In that case, only you can take the guest room. That's why it will be also the separate service.
That's very cool. I mean, and I absolutely agree with that also. For smaller cities, you got to get creative if you want repeated customers to keep coming back. Okay, awesome. Just how long has your business been running? For how long have you?
So we have the idea. So we make the canvas. It's not just like we can say that we have it now.
It's in
but
process.
Fingers crossed. Yes.
How many years, months have you been working on it?
It's approximately like 5 months and more. Yeah.
Okay.
So we did everything with the business canvas, with the design, with the outcomes, and everything with the budget, strategy. Everything is planned.
Okay.
So we need to just like to construct this, and that's all.
5 months. What about you?
Sure.
It's already 3 years.
3 years.
Yes.
Okay, cool. The reason why I wanted to kind of contextualize the time frame, because my next question is going to be, I mean, obviously this program is especially for female entrepreneurs from the regions. So as women in business, are there any unique challenges that you think that you face, and how do you navigate those challenges? So if you could think of any particular examples or any experiences you guys have had.
So I think that the biggest challenge whenever you decide to go into business, it's connected with your age, also with being a woman, because very often, although I think that this stereotype has changed a lot, but anyhow, still whenever you want to have some negotiations, especially with male representatives, here anyhow there is some kind of stereotypical attitude that, oh, it's a young girl, young, and sometimes people don't take you seriously. But it's just for the beginning. Later, whenever you show what you know, that you are somehow equal with them, and you can also cooperate equally, this is somehow changing. About myself, I can say that the biggest challenge is connected with my business idea, because the idea is very new in Armenia and a lot of people don't know about it. And I myself also didn't know a lot whenever I started the business. For example, that fashion actually is the second polluter in the world. And we all need to have like eco-friendly lifestyle, especially when we choose our clothing, to be very careful about it in order to be able to use it for a long period. Personally, I haven't faced a lot of challenges, but it was mostly connected with maybe being a young girl. But with time, it is also changing. Whenever you are more experienced and you get more knowledge about the sphere, experience is very important. So people already accept you like equal with them.
Equal. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that could be said for any industry, any I guess male or female in a lot of cases also.
Yes.
This idea of being treated as equal, especially when it comes with the age too. I completely could relate to that a little bit also. What about you, my dear? What are some unique challenges that you faced as a female entrepreneur starting a tourism industry type of a thing in Gyumri?
So, your question is really interesting. And during all this way, I'm thinking about this. I will answer your question to two different frames. The first one, the answer will be from an individual entrepreneur, Lusine, that is doing the city tours and the regional tours. The second one will be the establisher of the ecology, that is typically another sphere. So the first, it was imagined that 7 years ago that people don't have any kind of ideas about the local guides. So of course in Armenia, so we have the guides, we have the touristic destinations, but Gyumri, it's something new for them. And as we are dealing with the thing that is called sustainable tourism development. So in this part, you should integrate all the local guides. And 7 years ago, we don't have so much local guides as we have, fortunately. And the first time my family and my community members told me, "Are you sure? Would you like to be in this sphere?" So just like, could you serve this there? And the thing, it's really very interesting because in my profession, I'm the linguist. And the friends of mine that directs me to be in this sphere, they say, you should use your language to attract people to come to Gyumri and Shirak region. And fortunately, as I finished and graduated in the Department of the English Language and Literature, as always, my favorite language opens the door to the sustainable tourism development. There weren't any kind of challenges, because we don't have that kind of much local guides. But during all these years, we fortunately say that number increased, and now we have the concurrency. So, and this highly motivation that you should always work on you and present in your best, just. And being the establisher of the ecology, it's concretely different sphere. It's not the thing that as you are dealing with the tourists, with your guests and being the tour guide. It's completely other thing because you should be the builder, so you should speak with the construction part, you should know the electricity, the gas, the solar panels, and everything that you should do. But I have very devoted friends and very devoted team that they would like to help me. And I think the first thing that helps me, not just making the obstacle, it's my experience in tourism, that people knows me as the tour guide. And I'm always heard that they really believe that if there will be something that is implemented by me, so they approve. And
there's a trust there.
Just like the personal trust. And Shirak's people, not only just like Gyumri's people, Shirak's people, they are really very hospitable. And at the same time, they are really very open-minded. They everywhere, and just like every time they are open to new ideas.
What's your favorite thing about Gyumri?
The soul.
The soul.
Yeah, the soul
That's
of the
deep.
city, definitely.
Oh, I like that. What about you? What's your favorite part about Lori or Spitak, the city?
I can say about nature.
Nature,
Yes.
yeah, of course.
Fresh
There's
air,
nothing like
nature,
it.
yes.
Oh, that's cool.
I cannot speak about people that I like their soul, to be honest. But I like a lot our nature, the atmosphere that is really calm. You can find like amazing places in order to relax, and I really like it.
Very cool. All right. So coming back to our conversation about your businesses, what do you consider your biggest success in your business so far? Why don't we go first?
Yeah, sure.
Still, I know it's early stage,
Yeah.
but what do you consider as the most successful event that has happened this far?
I will mention one thing that inspires me a lot. Is one of the pitching sessions in VIB project that we have, because we have the pitching sessions with Ardak Aloyan, so the business expert, that we have 3 very nice trainings with him. And at just like at the last part, we have the written part and also the oral part, so the oral pitching. It was my biggest challenge, and I think the biggest success, that I can present the project very much in details. All the outcomes and goals are mentioned, and like the experts, they have just like say, if you really would you like to do this, just go and do. So, and I think just for now, as you have mentioned, is on its early age. So it's one of the biggest successes that people really believe when you tell so they understand that you are imagining.
That's right. And I think that breakthrough is really important, because I think you have all these ideas in your head, and you know exactly what you want to do, but sometimes it becomes difficult to articulate that.
Yeah, definitely.
So, and I love that, the WHIP program, or the Women in Business program,
Yeah.
provides all of the opportunities, the coaching for you guys to be able to get to that level, also to be able to articulate exactly what you want to do, and for people to grasp that.
Yeah, sure.
So from there on, I think it becomes much more clear, and you're able to kind of build around that. Okay, all right. So you've been in the game for some time now.
Yes.
So what would you consider one of the most successful things or activities that has happened so far in your business?
So the biggest success I can consider having accepted by a lot of people. That is, the idea is very new, and very often whenever I speak about the business and the idea, what we are doing, a lot of people don't accept it, because they very often connect it with like second-hand, old, that we don't want to have, I don't know, second-hand things. But whenever I explain it, and a lot of people accept and even motivate me to continue. Also, whenever I apply for different projects, like for example, Women in Business, conducted by AUA, and I get accepted, it's like a very big success for me. Also, I can speak about our sales, that from the very beginning, from the very first month of starting the business, we could have sales online, which really was so surprising for me, because whenever I just started, for me it was only very enthusiastic idea to bring my dreams into reality. But whenever it was also to sell, I didn't know what to do, how to do. Unfortunately, a lot of people helped me here. And I understood that actually a lot of people will buy it, they will support the idea, and I consider this like big success.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's also a beautiful concept when your hobby becomes a means of living, that you're able to take that dream of that passion that you have and actually make a living off of that while you're making an impact. So I think that's really cool that you were able to start to sell, because that also validates a lot of kind of the idea that you have and the passion that you put in that. So obviously the WHIP program has influenced quite a bit you guys' journeys from early to, I think you applied already with the business idea in place, right?
Already I started.
You had the business already,
Yes.
and then you applied to the WHIP program. So now I want to kind of talk about that. How did you learn about the program? How was the process? What did it feel like to get accepted? And how has the WHIP program this far influenced and impacted your guys' business journeys? So let's go ahead and start with you, my dear, and then we'll continue with Lusine.
So I knew about the program from social media, and of course whenever I saw that it's AUA, and the topics also were so close to my needs that I really needed it, because whenever you are far from business sphere, knowledge, experience, and all this mentorship is so important, that so I applied and I got accepted. Then we started our trainings, and I can say that the topics were well chosen and were well developed, so it really met our needs. And for me, the biggest motivation was again that whenever I saw that AUA and the team also accepts my idea and me, it means that I should continue, because sometimes whenever I hear like not so positive feedback, that is people don't want to, for example, wear this type of clothes, very often this is kind of demotivation. But whenever you get accepted by very important organization, first for me it was the motivation that I could get. Secondly, of course, these are the trainings. The topics were just directly whatever I needed about marketing, about finding new markets, about sales and financial part, for example. And yes, I can say that so far. Also, whenever we had a mentorship part, working with the mentors was so practical, and just whatever I needed, I could get. So I'm very thankful for this opportunity.
I mean, we're grateful that you've applied also and are part of this program. What was the favorite workshop, like, or the class or the topic that you found super important, relevant, and you enjoyed I'm sure everyone
Yes,
was.
of course. All the
But
all the
which one was the best one or the most
for
favorable
example,
one?
for me, financial part is difficult,
Uh-huh.
and somehow, of course, I got like a lot of good and necessary knowledge, but a lot of things were a little bit hard for me. But from marketing, like this is my favorite direction, marketing was very well designed, and also it was very full information. This was my favorite part of the project. Also mentorship, whenever we worked
course.
with mentors, this was very useful.
Yeah, and very important also. Absolutely. All right, Lusine, how has the program impacted you? What's your favorite class?
Sure. So I will tell you a little bit long history because, AUA is something like a treasure for me.
We agree.
Yeah.
For us too.
When I've graduated my bachelor degree, I would not like to apply for the master. And you know what is the reason? Because I say when you will get that kind of experience, you should apply AUA for the master. And when I have that kind of some ideas, when I'm searching the proper date, the proper year for me, when I will be ready, my knowledge will be in that kind of like level. In social media, I have faced with this project. And it was like very challenging for me at first time. I think, okay, maybe your occupancy would not be that kind of like comfortable for you. But seeing all this flexible schedule that we did and all the efforts that the staff has put. So that's why I'm very lucky to be in this project mainly because I learned about this project in social media, of course. But as Nune mentioned, as it was organized by AUA, and that time imagine that I have the ideas to apply for the master, so it corresponds.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
well
yeah.
worked.
It was at the right time and the
Yeah,
right
and
place
that
and the right
time-
marketing.
Sure. And I decided to apply. And before coming here, I'm also speaking with the colleagues in AUA to get back for the master, of course, after this project. The project was really very well designed. Of course, we can say that challenging with all
course.
these difficulties because we are in the humanitarian faculty, so we are not the financists. And when we have the financial part, it's a little bit difficult for us, but the marketing part was also very appreciative. The business communication part were on its top. The experts really were well chosen and they were very well experienced. And the thing that is really very important for me, they were so open to share their experience and knowledge to us. So it's very entertaining for me to be in this project.
Good. I mean, isn't it beautiful when it's useful, fun, impactful, and you see the result of it?
Yeah.
I mean, and I think the program, like you guys mentioned, is designed so perfectly that it's exactly that you learn with practice, you get mentorship, and you get all the skills that you need from language to marketing to business analytics to business strategy to really help you take that business idea and make it into something actually a reality, or already that take that existing business to the next level. So finally, I mean, what are the future goals? So I'm so curious to hear about like what happens next. So you've been working on this for 5 months. The construction has already begun, as I understand, or you're just beginning with the construction?
We are just beginning. We are searching like the grants and let's call them like the small scholarships that can provide us that kind of the financial help. Because the project that I would like to establish in Shirak region, it will be the unique in its concept, of course, and we will have the first experience having in that kind of like the eco lodge with the quest room and also the hiking roads, the tours, that everything will be included. So it's on its early first steps that we are also searching for the grants, searching for some of the financial investment, but also the team constantly is working on the project. So we are highlighting some details, working on the quests, because we will have 2 different quests. We will have the inner quest near the eco lodge, and for the adventurous groups we will have the outside quests. So there will be 2 different destinations, absolutely 2 different quests, and you will never get bored to get there. So hopefully in the next year we can do the opening. So also you are invited.
I was just going to say I better get an invite.
Sure.
I need any reason to come to Gyumri, so I'll gladly accept that invitation.
Thank you.
Awesome. What about you, my dear? What are your plans for the future?
So for now, we have long-term and short-term goals. For short-term goals and dreams, I can mention that first of all, we want to develop very unique types of clothing that whenever people see it, they will say, wow, I want it. And it doesn't matter whether it is upcycled, although they should understand that whenever they buy upcycled, it's even better because they show responsible attitude. Yes, this is about short term in order to develop very unique types of clothes. And about the long-term goals, I would like to mention that we want to have our own space because right now we don't have it, and to have very interesting like kind of showroom when people will come. Also, one part I imagine to be like kind of museum, and where tourists may also come, get experience. We can also provide them small master classes, how they may give second life to their pieces also at home, and have very good team.
That's important.
That's really important. And yes, these are our future goals.
I think just for our audiences, can you just very briefly, what's the difference between recycle and upcycle?
Yes, so recycling, whenever you completely, for example, you take the textile, you can make it like new thread. And again, from this thread, you make new fabric. And this is recycling, which is very difficult process, and special types of equipments are necessary. But upcycling, this is whenever you take this fabric and you don't make it new thread. Just you cut it, and you can also, like for example,
I was just going to say, is that
yes,
one of your pieces?
This is one of our pieces, yes. And so you can mix different styles. You can, for example, but you use the fabric, that is, you don't do this old hard process. You just take these pieces and join together, get something very unique. That is the existing fabric you reuse for different purposes. I mean, for getting different things. Like it can be eco bags, hair bands, clothes.
And do you hire locally the people that work on the clothes, the designs and things like that?
Yes, we mostly do outsourcing because for now we cannot afford to have
Full-time team.
Full-time team, yes. And it's more comfortable to just outsource designers.
Sure.
And I am like the main person involved here, of course. But like all the other things we are outsourcing.
And is it mostly individuals from Spitak, Lori region?
Yes, mostly from Lori region.
Okay, wonderful. Because it's also very important too. I mean, being able, because your businesses need to make an impact outside of the small communities, right? And like have an influence on the community at large.
Yes, there are a lot of talented women in women and also girls, because some years ago, maybe some 20 years ago, we had very big factory in Spitak, and whenever now it is not working already, all these women have very good experience and they are at home. Just I find them because I know them from my acquaintances, and they are ready to work, to be involved in the process.
Absolutely. And that community effort really makes it very unique also. And I'm sure you guys talk about that in your marketing class when you talk about your brand and what it represents and the values that your businesses are going to carry. I think that's also very important. Okay, I think we are at time. Ladies, it was literally such a pleasure to talk to you, to get to know you a little bit better, and to congratulate you for your journeys this far. And, you know, we wish you nothing but the best. I want to come and visit your businesses, take a tour at your future museum, stay at your future space. So continue doing amazing work and continue to inspiring your local communities also by, you know, with all the work that you guys continue to do. And for our audiences that watched our podcast today, thank you so much for following our podcast. And for those of you who are interested in the Women in Business program, please follow AUA Extension social media pages, their website, our offices here in Yerevan and across the regions in the country. This program is really an incredible program. So if you're interested in joining our WIP program, make sure you follow our our pages, and make sure if you have a business, make sure to take that step in joining the Women in Business program. Ladies, once again, thank you so much. And it was a pleasure hosting you guys on our focus series today.
Thank you.